Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 4 wins in a row. We're starting to rebuild our streak after that idiotic void play. Oh my god, we're starting with Unicorn Stump? What a world. Rate of fire is great. Damage, I gotta say, it's not bad. Luck's above 0. Speed, again, is incredible. R98138GF. TFW. What's the seed? TFW38GF. Joy emoji. That's right. I know memes. I'm starting to, I'm hitting like peak. I gotta delete my Facebook. I don't know if I've, cynicism about Facebook is at like an all-time high, no, and deservedly so. But, I think I've told this story before, but like, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, once I graduated from college, I went to college in the peak of Facebook optimism, and I was like a week away from going to university. They made it so you didn't have to have a .edu email address to use Facebook anymore. It opened the freaking floodgates, and it was like, everybody was in love with it. You meet somebody at an outing, you add them on Facebook, even if you didn't share a word with them. You see somebody and they say they're in the same program as you at university, you add them, So even if you never had a conversation with them in your life. Everyone was starry-eyed and not at all worried about personal information back then. It was a different time, baby. Now we have freedom and responsibility. It's very groovy. No, life is a living hellscape to some extent, at least with respect to privacy on the internet. But anyway, this isn't about that. It's more like, 10 years ago when I graduated from university, I was like, I don't need all these people on, that I went to a kegger with once on Facebook. So I instituted a new rule, and it might sound draconian, but it worked out very well for me. It was essentially, I got a good feeling about that one. Let's go. It was essentially, if you make 2 posts on Facebook that I find annoying, you get removed. And it wasn't hard feelings, it was just like, hey, if I'm never gonna see you again, and you make 1 post that's like, offensive, or just like annoying, like, I had lunch at Casa Loma today. I'm like, okay, cool. Next day, here's a picture of the Montreal Canadiens uniform crying. I'm like, we're done. It's not like I'm offended necessarily by the joke. It's more like I just don't need you cluttering up my life. So now I have a situation in which I have like half as many people on Facebook, but they're all annoying me. And I think I gotta delete it, dude. I think the time has come. It's not like it's a big deal, necessarily, but I'm happy about it. Because my news feed, like, I feel like almost everybody that I was friends with on Facebook, we might want to get rid of Unicorn Stump for the ability to fly. Almost everybody that I was friends with on Facebook, like, literally 95% or more, have just stopped using the site except to, like, send a message to grandma on their birthday, okay? And then the other 5% post 8 things a day, and it's horrible. Like, I went on kind of an extended version of this bit on the NLSS, but I got 3 people, really, take 99% of my Facebook newsfeed space. One of them is my grandma, and I love her, but she does these quizzes that reveal personal information about her. It'll be like, well, the last 4 digits of your phone number is what you need this year. And then she posts like, money, sugar daddy, liquor. And I'm like, oh, grandma, you just gave away the last 4 digits of your phone number. Like, I'm not necessarily suggesting that anyone's going to use that information against you, but just, you shouldn't, it's not 1970 anymore. That information is sort of like sensitive in today's era. And then there's a friend's wife and the mother of his 2 children, who is a lovely person, but all she posts are memes about how difficult it is to be a mom. And I'm not saying it's not. Like a week ago, I went on that tangent about, it must be very hard to have kids. I agree. But, like, I don't know. I think the thing is, her Facebook is probably predominantly consisting of other moms doing the same thing, and mine is just her. So she stands out, and I'm like, oh, so here we go. Another tweet about, my reaction when my son won't eat dinner, and it's a gif of Taylor Swift crying. And I'm like, you have every right to post it, but I also, have every right to be a little, not really annoyed, because that's self-important, but just roll my eyes again. My reaction when you post another mommy gif and it's, you know, Taylor Swift crying. You get the idea. And then one of my old friends from university, who's still in university because he's getting, you know, his 9th PhD, just posting things like from the page that's like, I friggin' love science, and then it's like, when you think about how big the earth is, and it's a picture of a dude getting his mind blown or something like that. I'm ready, dude. The time has come. I gotta get rid of it. I resent it at this point in my life. It's not even the loss of like the control of your personal information. It's just like a waste of time. You realize, like, I don't know if anybody else feels like this. I often wonder if it's a result of the fact that I live so much of my life. To describe it as being in the public eye is a little grandiose, perhaps. It's not like I'm being hounded by the paparazzi, or even a single paparazzo on a regular basis. It's decent. But, you know, I definitely, like, romanticize the idea of living in the woods with no human contact. And it's something I've never experienced before in my life, was a desire for that. The D4? Oh, Lord. Alright, well, this is a wild one. Obviously, we're going to use it. We got a soul. We got a fly. We're trying to agglomerate transformations here. I don't know if anybody else in the same boat. I'm assuming, like, it's not an unusual thing. It's more like, you know, in 2006 when I was 17, 18 years old, I think I'm gonna buy the nightlight. It's not a great use of Two of Diamonds, but it does give us another item that gets re-rolled, which will allow us proportionally to get more information faster. You know, it's like putting more of a down payment on an expensive thing is like your interest goes down so much because you put it down so early. Anyway, you get the idea of it here. In 2006, it was like, oh my god, I can keep connected to all my friends. That's incredible. I can organize things. I could be like, hey, we're having a get-together at my house. Come on over. And now, you know, as my friends and I are, you know, approaching the cusp of true adulthood in our 30s, I realize none of us are that interesting. And I think the vast majority of adults came to that realization with me and went, I'm not going to use this that much anymore. Nobody needs to be updated what I'm doing on a regular basis. Oh, let's actually go. And then some people were like, nah, you're wrong. You need to see this meme right now. What's the difference between Facebook and Twitter, by the way? It sounds like it has a punchline, but it doesn't. For me, the difference between Facebook and Twitter is like, Facebook is all, your life's, well, I'm not going to say your life sucks, but your life's normal and you pretend that it's awesome. And Twitter is like, your life's normal and you pretend like it's horrible. And then, for some reason, I resonate more with Twitter. And also, I mean, you know, Twitter is really important for people in my position so that, you know, whenever you make an insulting comment about anime, you have an avenue from which to publicly apologize. That's pretty much the predominant reason for that. Okay, what do we got here? Grab these. Great run so far, and it's going to get greater. Basically, unless we D4 ourselves into a run that's going to lose, and it sounds self-evident, but unless we D4 ourselves into a run in which we're going to lose, we're going to win. Because we're going to get to a run that's good enough to just dominate. You know, we're only one item away from becoming Guppy as is, so already, and I'm looking at this like, you know, with hungry eyes. I remember, like, the last... I have one more obligation on Facebook, which is when my wife posts something, I click the like button on it. You know? Beelzebub already. And Lord of the Flies. Is Beelzebub? No, it's not. What's going on there? We also got another Guppy. Are we Guppy? We're Guppy, dude. We got 3 transformations there. We got Lord of the Flies, Beelzebub, and Guppy all in one reroll. That's incredible. But apart from that, like... Dude, I've had friend requests floating on that website for years because I'm just like, it used to be like, do I know this person at all? Or would I like to meet them? Add him as a friend. Now it's like, do I want this person to have access to photos of me from like 12 years ago? Absolutely not. Are you crazy? They're only my doctor. I don't want them to have access to that kind of sensitive information. Anyway, Facebook sucks. Maybe I'm using it wrong, but that's fine. I'm ready to get rid of it. I'm telling you, eventually I'm going to deprecate myself from an internet context. I never got Instagram, never got Snapchat, never got WhatsApp, never got Yik Yak. I'm familiar with all of them because, you know, eventually I want to make one, sell it to Mark Zuckerberg for $8 or $9 billion, and then, you know, retire to the top of a mountain somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. But never got any of them. As other social networks eventually, you know, wither and die, eventually my online presence, apart from rambling Isaac videos, will fade into the ether. That's the dream, dude. Better to burn out than fade away? I don't know. I don't know about that one. I have to... Maybe, oh, God. Maybe disagree with you there. So this run is, I mean... Don't take this as a negative thing. It's like the worst Lusty Blood we've ever had. You don't really need to get +1 damage when you've got, you know, 44 to begin with. This is going to be a very pleasant D4. A second opportunity at a crawl space. Must be my birthday. Now, for real, if this were a run that we got maybe on the Womb 1, we'd oh, we have the Stud Finder. That's probably why we're getting so many of those. But, if this was the Womb 1, we'd probably roll this run forever. Because to have Infestation 2 and then 46 damage per shot is just ridiculous. Amazing, really, is a good word for it. But we're going to reroll, obviously, because it's so early in the run. It's like, you know, you can't stick with that forever. This isn't a Pussycat Dolls song. I think about, like, personal information a lot these days. You know why? I'm being real with you. This is gonna sound, and I'm not complaining, okay? I know, like, something people have no patience for is YouTubers and Twitch streamers complaining about their lives. And I sympathize with them, and I sympathize with people who hate that as well. Because I do see, like, a trope sometimes. There's, like, a tweet that's, like, you know, someone who's a Twitch streamer that has, like, 100,000 followers or something like that gets one negative comment, and they make a tweet like, I've been getting messages like, somebody told me I can't eat on stream. I gotta tell you, I'm a human being, so if you don't think I can eat on stream, well, screw you. And then it gets like 3,000 replies from people that are like, hey, yeah, exactly, don't let people tell you how to live your life, people should realize we're human. Well, yeah, but like, I mean, obviously, just eat on stream, that person's being a moron. I'm not minimizing, you know, the perceived harassment. I mean that sincerely. I understand, you know, because it grates on you to constantly be criticized on a regular basis. But whenever I see those tweets, I'm like, come on. It's like one person being rude. Maybe it's more than one person, and I'm stepping above my weight class and talking about something I don't understand. That's fair. But most of the time I look at it, and I cynically kind of perceive those messages like, one person said something mean to me, I'm going to frame it as if it happens all the time, and I'm going to use it as an opportunity to be a teachable moment. And I'm like, that's noble, but the moment doesn't need to be taught. Most people understand, I think, if you're doing like a 6-hour stream, you're probably going to need to take a little time to eat. One thing I will say, people don't realize, okay? Streaming is not a physically demanding job. For whatever reason, it makes me so GD hungry. I don't know if it's like the brain is working overtime trying to like make sure there's never any dead air or something like that, but I will like eat an actual lunch, start the NLSS, and 2 hours later my body is like, if you don't get nutrition, you're gonna pass out. That's why I'm getting those granola bars midstream. Anyway, but I think about it because, you know, I get criticism sometimes, and I'm not even necessarily complaining about it to an enormous degree, because most of it is constructive, and then some of it is well-meaning, but the person just doesn't know how to talk to people, and that's fine. You know, like, I understand it's just like some, I don't know if it's social awkwardness or whatever, but sometimes people are like, you can tell they really like your content because they've got like you as their avatar, but then they say like, hey, craphead, you suck and I hate you, why'd you do this in this video, you moron? And you're like, wow. And then I look at it and it's their real name. And I'm like, and they're like 17 or something like that, and I'm like, dude, don't, if you're gonna be mean to me, use an alias, because one day it's possible. All it would take is me retweeting that, and don't take this as a sign of like ego. All it would take is me retweeting that, and all of a sudden that's like the #1 Google search for your name for the next 5 years. You apply for a job at Circuit City, you see, you know, you calling me an effing idiot. Who are they going to choose then? You know, between guy who calls someone he likes a friggin' idiot, or the other person applying for the job who has no social media presence whatsoever. You know what I mean? I'm just saying you should think twice. Especially when you're being critical to people online. First off, being critical is fine. Don't try to take this out of context, by the way. I understand that out of context, this kind of looks like NL's like, hey, if you're going to harass someone, do it anonymously. But it's more like, you know, you should think about what your real name is attached to on Twitter. You know, that stuff, it could, you know, when you're 17, you might think that's important to get out there, and you're like, I don't really care because, you know, my adulthood is so far in the future that it doesn't matter. And you might be right, but you may well also be wrong. Like, do you see that story about, I don't want to re-roll too much more because I think we're going to breakfast ourselves, but you see the story about the guy, I believe, and I don't even want to bring it up because I feel like he's already paid his punishment, but I'm actually taking his side. So if anybody's aware of this guy, I want you to know that I'm not actually piling on. But I believe he worked at Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer. He worked at one of the Call of Duty studios as a level designer. But his dream job was to work for 343 Studios on a Halo project because he grew up and he loved Halo. But, well, here's the thing. He lived in like LA or Anaheim, wherever the Call of Duty studio was. And 343 Studios is in Seattle, Washington. Drove up to Washington, had an interview with them, got hired, and then somebody found a post of his on their forums, 343 Studios forums, from like 6 years ago, where he was a little bit younger, perhaps, you know, more impressionable. And he was like, everybody at 343 deserves to be fired. This is a shoddy product and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they brought it to 343 Studios' attention, and his job offer was rescinded. Now, I want to point out a couple things here. I think, to some extent, I think it should, like, actually be illegal. I don't live in America, but the fact that you can be offered a job and then have it rescinded because you said something negative about the company, you know, many years ago, especially if the dude's working, like, behind the scenes, you know, he's not working as, like, PR or something like that. I understand the argument that you're like, you know, why would I hire somebody who has disrespected our company in the past when I could just hire someone who hasn't, but, you know, I think the internet, you know, it warrants a re-examining of those kind of axioms that potentially we hold true, you know? That's my personal opinion on it, at least. I'm not trying to say 343 Studios did anything that was overreaching. But it also, he owned up to it, and he was like, I shouldn't have said that when I was younger. You know, that was mean, and at the time I didn't understand how that kind of stuff can affect the people working on the game. And it was very mature, but, you know, if it can happen to him, a qualified individual who got his dream job, I think it's a good cautionary tale for just, like, being nice. You know, everyone goes through phases where they're not nice, but I think, you know, if you're not being nice for the sake of being nice and making other people's days better instead of worse, you should at least be nice for your own self-interest, and then maybe you'll pick up a good habit there. I'm not saying I'm a paragon of niceness, of course. Maybe a little bit too much of a fallback to say that most of my anger is satirical, but anyway. That's the way I feel about it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It warrants thinking about. That's all I'm saying. Okay, this run is obviously going to carry us through this floor. I don't even think we want those. This is the kind of run, you know, you just love to see it in Isaac because you know you're set. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting issue. When I saw that story, I was like, what a modern story. Guy gets his dream job and then loses it because he had previously publicly and very visibly insulted the company that he loved so much. On Twitter. Not on Twitter, on forums, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Basically what I'm saying is by the time I have a child, I want to live in a cabin in the woods. I don't even want him to keep a diary at that point. A diary can still be used against you. Oh, pause. Now we don't need any of this garbage, okay? But we're gonna do it anyway because it's gonna be fast. Basically what I'm saying is never write anything down. Keep all of your money in gold bars that you hide in a secret compartment under your floorboards. Like, it's very simple. I'm actually very much not a live off the grid type of guy. I even worry, like, you know, I've been training myself in... Well, I've been not really training myself. I've been taking classes in programming for like 3 years now. There may come a time, 10, 20, 100, 1 year in the future, where I'm looking for a job or even like a contract as a software developer. And I think about some of the garbage I've tweeted, like, you know, just... Not even like stuff that's offensive, but just stuff that's stupid, like, you know, hey, Googled your Twitter account and I saw this tweet that says, I feel down the stairs and ravioli on me. Are we sure this guy's the right kind of fit for our company? Who knows, dude? I don't know, you gotta roll with the punches at this point, I guess. Too late to change now. We have, like, good runes here? I mean, we don't have bad runes, certainly. Not using the D4. I know you're saying use the D4. I'm not using the D4 because I'm very concerned about breakfasting myself. So, just cool it on that D4 action, okay? I don't want to point out that, you know, we got Guppy really fast, and I said that we might get Guppy really fast because of Nightlight, but I'm just saying, the boy, turns out he knows what an amortization table is. I will say, even this D4 roll there was not that amazing. It was pretty great. Onsus? Onsus. Black Rune is the best. Hagalaz, Algiz. Black Rune we stick with for now. Hagalaz, Hagalaz. Some of them were doubled with Yera, some of them just spawned next to each other, which is why I checked them all, but... Well, I'm glad we didn't take Onsus. This run it's really good, but we could do better, is my hypothesis right now. We still have, what do we have now? We have a really poor rate of fire, I'll tell you that much. Oh, but combined with that really poor rate of fire, we shoot like 8 shots every time we charge up a shot, so I don't know. Usually, and you know, this is, again, IAA approved Zane protocol. I try to use the D4 like once per floor, especially when we've had it forever, because breakfast is anti-Zane and anti-fun. So, and plus, it's just kind of like, when you get a bad roll, I almost feel like you have to self-nerf the D4. That's kind of where I'm coming at it from. When you just immediately re-roll a bad run as soon as possible, it's like, well, you didn't really take any punishment. The D4 is so freaking good. And I think a lot of people don't see it. You know, they just see like, well, you re-roll, your run could be good and it could be bad. Yeah, but you just stop re-rolling when you get something amazing. So, you know, if you get something bad, you only have to deal with it for 6 rooms and then you're free forever, you know? It's a simple technique. That being said, I did just immediately re-roll my run. We have some kind of very strange epic fetus here that is incredible. We're also extremely slow. Or at least there was a tractor beam, maybe on our own shots. That was very weird. We must have sad bombs. That's the only explanation, yeah. Synth oil's good. None of this is good except actually contract from below. Oh, that's alright. Well, this run is amazing. Damage-wise, you know, it's good because I'm already doing my post-Isaac stretch, but, I think it fits the bill of being a bit of a Zane fest as well. Like these continuum sad bombs. I don't know if Monster's Lung has much impact here, but it's a pretty cool run. I would prefer to not get hit myself, but I think I might roll... Oh, it's anti-grav too. I think I might roll this combo for a little bit longer. Just because it's kind of neat. Now, are we going to do the Hush fight? I mean, we did do the Hush fight. Oh, yeah, it's a really smart idea there. We did do the Hush fight a video or 2 ago. That doesn't mean we can't do it again, but the Hush fight You know, I actually think I'll meet you in the middle. If you don't get mad at me for rolling with this cool epic fetus run for a bit, I will do the Hush run with this cool run and then re-roll after it. We did beat the odds. That's what I was looking for. No, get out. Well, I'll take it. Thank you. Alright. So I think we should be fine on Hush. If it turns into garbage, we have a reroll to potentially get ourselves out. But I really think these epic fetus shots are just gonna, like, dismantle him. Oh. That's probably terrible, actually. Wheel of Fortune. Immunity to explosions for right now is well worth not using the black rune on that room. And Rotten Baby is pretty great as well, so I'm completely okay with that. Sure, a damage upgrade. Wow, these are like all items, huh? I just want to see what happens if you do this. It's not that good. Okay, so we'll get closer to Bookworm if we haven't gotten it already. Oh, we got Seraphim. Weird. And then Black Rune those two. And you might as well buy the Spirit Heart. We look super safe here. Alright. I'm kind of thinking first... Whoa, Creative Cloud has an update. No thank you. I think I've already mentioned this, but I don't need a Photoshop update. Oh, we have Taurus? I didn't even notice. I don't need an Adobe Creative Cloud update, and the reason I don't need a Creative Cloud update is because all I do in Photoshop is edit the templates that Dracula Fetus sends me to put an increasing number in the top left or top right corner. So I appreciate, for security reasons, it might be a valid idea. Oh my god, we are crapping on Hush here. But for my own express purpose, not really a necessary upgrade in all likelihood. Yo, this was like the fastest we've ever killed Hush. That was awesome. Alright, so now that we've had our fun with this cool run, let's re-roll it and see if we can get a little bit cooler. What happened to our eyes? This run actually seems pretty dope as well. Not quite the same level, but these static tiers... Oh, our range is garbage, but these static tiers are pretty solid. It's been a, like, last run was really strong. This run is probably even stronger. The game has been very kind to us lately. And this is what I mean, like, I really feel like we were on the verge of popping off an incredible streak. And I'm really hoping that we can hold true to that, because to be honest with you, that triple-digit streak, it might have happened before the majority of you even started watching these videos. You know, that was back in 2015. I know, the middle school days. I remember that because it was back when I used to still go to media events. So Mathis and I were in sunny London, England. And he was like, what's your streak at now? And I was like, thank you for asking. It's very kind of you. It's like 107 or something like that. He was like, wow. It's a time capsule. And we haven't made it back since. Now, we're not even close. Nah. Apparently, the blue fatties can show up on the chest. So we might not want to do every room, but we should do a lot of rooms. At least enough to get us where we're going here. So, Mega Satan's cool. Don't get me wrong. But, we're gonna go for the rerolls instead. Okay. Not the rerolls. We're gonna do as many rooms as possible instead because there could be a mega fatty that shows up. I have no idea what's happening here, but it's excellent, and I love it. There's some stuff I can see happen. I think we have eyeball tears and maybe also, lacro, whatever. It's not hemolacria, but the one that's like, the shots agglomerate together and then explode. And then combine that with Jacob's Ladder, I think. Combined with Strange Attractor. And we've got like a super weird but also extremely awesome synergy. Curse of the Tower, but big whoop, right? Wow. So that was like one of the strongest Isaac runs I've had in forever. Along with the last run. Feels great. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.